Hey, all you savages, we're going to get into the Mark III blade shapes and grinds that we do. I did these 7 knives with the main blade shapes and grinds that we do. So we're going to talk about it a little bit so that not to be overly pedantic, but I know a lot of you know this stuff, but sometimes when we're taking orders and trying to communicate on socialist media and email and things like that, we're not speaking the same language. So first off, Mark 1, Mark 2, Mark 3, my bad. I don't call them the Destroyer and the Defenestrator and the Egret and all these fancy names because I'm not creative like that. I think more Mark 1 mod this, Mark 2 mod that. But I'll try to do better with our model names in the future. I promise there won't be a Mark 4, mainly because there's a Delta. And I know that's not much more creative, but at least it's not exactly the same. And hopefully we'll have some more Deltas coming out by the end of the year as well. I got to redo some pallets and order some blade steel, but I have bodies. Anyways, not to get too sidetracked, wanted to go over these blade shapes and grinds, so just so we're speaking the same language when we're doing orders and talking. Again, this is our Mark III, guys. The Mark III doesn't have a thumb choil, and the Mark III doesn't have jimping. The Mark III is a little thinner, more of a gentleman's knife profile, a little slimmer in here to carry. Same thickness scales. And all right, I'm just going to keep rolling. I can't deal with that. I can't reshoot this. So same thickness scales and blade steel as the Mark 1 and Mark 3, but it is on bearings and it does have a flipper. I've only done a few without a flipper or on washers, special order. The way we make them generally is that way. But anyways, this one is our drop point. Okay, it's a standard drop point, and it has a rising grind. We like to do this rising grind. I don't know, probably because it's more difficult than just doing a straight line grind across. And it has its own challenges, but we've got them kind of squared away. We like the look of it. We like the edge geometry, gives us a nice slicey blade. So that is the first one, number one, the drop point, and this particular grind is a rising grind. We also do a high and tight grind, which is a really high standard, line, grind across the line, but I didn't do any of those for this because it's not that much different. And I only had 7 knives to do, so, well, 8, but that's neither here nor there. So that's number one. Number 2 is the Tonto. Okay, on the Tonto, it's a compound grind. We do our Tontos with a hollow grind. It's a Tonto blade shape with a hollow grind for the belly, and the tip has a flat grind. So we do a couple different variations of this where we can put more curve to the tip or more curve to the belly, or both more curve to the belly and to the tip. But this one right here is pretty much a flat belly and a flat tip. And I don't know exactly what this angle is. We hand profile them so that we like the way they look, and there you go. So that is the Tonto, both blade shape and grind, but we do a couple different variations based on our mood and creative muses, how they're speaking to us. Number 3 and number 4, I should probably do number 4 before I do number 3, but number 4 is a Hisatsu with a rising grind, and a number 3, the one on the top here, this one's 3, is a Hisatsu blade shape with a compound grind. All right, that one is same blade shape as the Hisatsu, just has a compound grind. We can also do a compound grind on a standard drop point. We haven't done any of those in a long time. People like to call this the bat wing, right? Because it's kind of got a little bat wing thing going on. The big difference in the blade shape is with the compound grind, we need a little bigger choil right here. So there's a little bigger choil on the Hisatsu blade shape for the compound grinds. So that's how you can tell the difference between 3 and 4 in the picture, is that the one with the bigger choil is set up for a compound grind because of the angle that we grind. We don't want to grind back into the detent track or any of that. The Hisatsu, again, just the regular Hisatsu blade shape, not as big a choil, but again with the rising grind. Really like this blade geometry. It's a little Kiridashi-ish, but instead of just having the front edge sharp, you also have the belly that's sharp. So it's kind of an extended Kiridashi. We call it a Hisatsu for the blade shape. All right, number 5. Number 5 is a little more old school. We got a little clip point, like a little Bowie point. We just call it, it's not a Bowie, we just call it a clip point for the blade shape. Again, with the rising grind, we can do a high and tight grind on this. We can do different grinds, but generally we do the rising grind because we like it. This is a newer blade shape for us, and I dig it. That's what I'm carrying right now is a medium Mark III with a clip point. I really like that geometry. All right, number 6 is the Harpoon. Okay, Harpoon blade shape. You can tell with the hootenanny on top. That's the technical term for it, the hootenanny. And then again, this has a rising grind. We have been known on just about any of these knives to do false edges on these. So sometimes we'll do a false edge on the top wing here on the Harpoon. But since we crown the tops of the blades, we don't do that too much unless it's asked for, because when you do that, you might as well not really crown the blade. So we've got these nice and crowned, so that's where we're at. So again, on a custom, we will do, we have done in the past, and we will do again in the future. But just as far as a standard custom, we just do the rising grind and not the false edge. And then this is the last one. This is the spear point. Okay, the blade shape is spear point, and then the grind is a bayonet grind. So you've got the top and the bottom. Now, with a normal bayonet grind, this side would be sharp. We don't do that, obviously, because it's a folder and that edge sticks out of the top here, so we would not want any of that to be sharp. So, but people dig it. They like the way it looks. I do. I think this is probably because we don't do too many of them. This is my favorite looking one, but it's more challenging to grind. So just so you understand, the compound grinds, okay, the Batwing and the bayonet grind, like a dagger grind, a bayonet grind, and technically the Tanto is you might say it's twice as much work, but it's really not, because we're having to line up multiple points of geometry and doing multiple grinds and multiple setups on multiple grinders, because we've got a hollow grind and a flat grind up here, just like the Batwing, where we've got a hollow grind in the belly and then we've got a long tip. So these are actually very similar, and they take longer and are more work, and so that's why we charge a little bit more for those. And we don't offer those in the small batch production. Those aren't production. That's a custom option. So sometimes I have people hit me up saying, hey, could I get a small batch production like this? No. The small batch production, we make that batch, and that is what it is. And to keep the cost down, we do just the primary grind. We're not doing compound grinds and crazy geometries on that. So you'll see, drop point, Hisatsu, clip point, and Harpoon, and with just a standard. For us, the standard grind is the rising grind, and so that's what you'll see. So I hope you find this helpful and not too boring, and I hope it helps us communicate a little bit better on when we're doing ordering and talking about our wish list and what we're looking for in the future. So a lot of these blade shapes and grinds are available on our other models, but not all of them are available on all the models. But this should give us a good point. We also do a recurve that I didn't put in there. And Noah, what was the other thing that I said?
The high tight.
Oh no, yeah. So the high and tight grind, which I mentioned, but that's on standard. The Hindsight is the grind. It's not a blade shape. So you got drop point, Tonto, Hisatsu, clip point, harpoon, spear, and then a recurve would be the other. I didn't do any recurves on this. I don't really like the recurve on the thinner blade on the Mark IIIs. If we do recurves, we usually do those on the Mark I's. Those work better with the Mark I's. So if you have any questions or thoughts, please comment below. Hit us up with a message or smoke signals or whatever you do. And I hope you found this helpful. Have a great day, and we'll see you soon.